called tyranny. And governments are becoming less and less and less legitimate in the eyes of the people, the more they simply do the bidding of the rich and powerful and ignore the rest of us. So, unfortunately, we have a great deal of common ground right now in America, because almost everybody's broke. But at the same time, like, you have a real need, I think, definitely not just address these ideas of diversity and identity, but to make sure that there's space there on the stage and in your film, you know, and all the other things that we do to talk about these things. So I really appreciate the question. It's something we don't just feel passionately about, or I don't, and my team doesn't just feel passionately about. We are actively pursuing making sure that that's an issue. And if you go on Twitter or any of these live stream Climate Revolution pages, you can watch some of these incredible speeches down in Philly from Black Lives Matter, you know, or in the Rockaways on the Climate Revolution stage. And they're often going to be the ones to make those connections. But I think that we have to be very, very conscientious about this, because let's face it. I mean, Hurricane Matthew just came and hit Haiti. The Haitians have very, very little to do, in fact, nothing to do with climate change. They don't burn a lot of fossil fuels. They don't have a lot of these industrial processes. They're not responsible. There's a couple of countries, I think one of them that did something weird called the Industrial Revolution, like way back a couple hundred years ago, that have a responsibility. So Theresa May should not be overturning Lancashire. Theresa May should be sending a shit ton of pounds sterling down to Haiti, saying, sorry, 300 years ago, we fucked up the atmosphere. You know, that's what should be happening. And that's a direct quote. Any last question? One last question, maybe? Or are we done? Are we good? Okay, yeah, ma'am. All right, why don't we do this? We'll ask 1, 2, and I'll answer them both. You go first and you go second.
Last night we were talking about the media and how balanced the BBC were,
Yeah.
and it just came out today that RT, and I saw you were interviewed and going underground on Wednesday.
Right.
Had their bank accounts, UK bank accounts closed with no right of appeal.
RT had their bank accounts closed.
Yeah. No right of appeal.
I was on their program on Saturday, right? So, okay, wow, that's interesting. Go ahead. What's the next question?
So maybe it's not a question, but it's just a comment.
Okay.
So I am a dancer.
Oh, good.
And I'm not an activist.
Uh-huh.
And it's really refreshing for me to see in the film so much dance. And
So important.
it's so important. And the conclusion after the film for me
They're a dancing partner now, calling it your life.
was that really I should continue dancing.
Yes, you should.
And it's so important to stay connected to the body. And you know, it was even so difficult even for me, being used to performing, to get up from the chair and join you at the end.
Right.
I felt so uncomfortable.
Yeah, me
So-
too.
and
Every
so,
time.
so it's kind of interesting, you know, to see all those cultures, how they connect through the dance, and you know, they are bare feet and dancing and gathering, and they are connecting through the body. And for us, we have so many figures, and I know the least from all the facts that you guys know here, but I think it's so important to connect through the body, and so yeah, that was really nice for me to see so much music and so much dance, and I wish there was more artists here, you know, that also they have power to communicate, but go together with activists and with scientists, and it has to come together, you know.
I think it has to be a cultural thing.
Yes, it has to.
So
be.
that's why we're doing these Climate Revolution rallies, because they have the rally, and then we have a concert,
Yeah.
and then we have the screening, and then we have a dance party. So these things can go on for 8 hours. But we're creating a space for people to be, and they don't leave. They show up, they want to see Naco Bear, or they want to see Kit Malone from TV on the radio, or whatever. You know what I mean? They come see the movie, and then that movie is blasting by the end of it, and people just get up and dance, and then we come in with the next song, and we have a big dance party. So we're actually playing a dance festival in Amsterdam this weekend, which I'm excited about. It's
Great.
the ADE Festival, it's called? ADE Festival in Amsterdam, dance festival. And my next project is all about how shave my head, go vegan, and become a modern dancer, all over again. Because I've done that in the past, but time to do it again. But honestly, though, I think you know you're on the right track with climate activism if you've left your house, and that means you've got your whole body, You know, you've got yourself engaged. You're not doing this. This is not activism. This is a trance. You have to get out there with people and be in the streets and walk, and that's part of the first steps, right? And this one is not walking yet, but crawl, you can crawl. But like the idea that that you have to have your body because your body is invested, right? Our climate crisis is reflected in our bodies a lot of the time, you know? I mean, you see a lot of people, especially in America, who are very much overweight because they're eating a lot of meat, they're eating a lot of really processed foods. These are really bad for the climate, they're also really bad for people, you know, and it's in their body. So how do you start to also do this with the whole part of you? Because I think that's another reason why, ma'am, you asked a question about depression. That in the first half of the movie, it's all in your head. You realize that, right? It's all talking heads for the first half, except the Hurricane Sandy part. That whole overwhelmed section is overwhelmed because it's the heads, the talking heads, the brains, the Bill McKibben, the Van Jones, the Elizabeth Colbert, the Lester Brown. It's all here. The whole rest of the movie is on its feet. There's not a single other time really where we sit down throughout the whole rest of the movie. We have a couple little snippets. But the rest of the movie is on its feet, in a boat, trekking through the Amazon, on the side of a volcano, running from the police. You know, this is and so you see there's a big difference. It's almost like two movies, right? So I do think